So it was Clare 123, Cork 319. Cork are into the All-Ireland Senior Hurling Championship quarterfinals after a 2-point victory over Clare at LIT Gaelic grounds. And of course, this is the match reaction, as always, here on GAA Fan TV. In the end, I mean, Cork have just about got over the line against Clare. They've won out the game by 2 points. But if anyone who watched the game would have seen the late chance that Tony Kelly had right at the death, where Patrick Collins made a save from point blank range. And I mean, Clare could have had a fairy tale ending in that game. They really could have, because I mean, they were 5 points down going into injury time. They get the penalty. Obviously, Niall O'Leary gets sent off. Tony Kelly dispatches the penalty. And then literally, you know, the referee could have blown up the whistle in injury time. It was almost reminiscent of when Clare played Cork, of course, in 2013 in that All-Ireland final. Maybe we were going to have another Holy Moses moment where we were going to have absolute late drama that was going to, you know, win the game for Clare. Obviously, on that occasion, it sent the game to a replay in that 2013 final, of course. But in the end, Patrick Collins made the save, and Cork get the job done. They get over the line. And I do think it was justified, because I do think Cork overall throughout the entirety of the game were the better side. They led for the majority of the game. They dominated the play for the majority of the game. And whilst Clare did keep coming back, and you have to admire Clare's fight, Cork were certainly on the day the better team. And I think the big difference for Cork is their bench. You know, the likes of Shane Barra, for example, coming off the bench scoring 1-1. Alan Connolly obviously got a point as well. And like Cork have this overriding amount of players coming through at the moment at under 20 level. Like, they have a lot of very good young players coming through at the moment, and I think it really stood to them today, because, you know, Barra obviously coming off the bench, Connolly coming off the bench as well, like some of the other lads in the side as well, the likes of your Jack O'Connor's, you know, your Dara Fitzgibbons, Tim O'Mahony, these guys like Jack O'Connor as well, who's recently come into the side, obviously got a goal, got himself sent off, of course, as well, but did get himself a goal in the first half. And obviously Shane Kingston, who's been around for quite a long time for this Cork side, got himself a goal as well. Massive fair play to Cork. Like, they came out of traps early on. I thought that Dara Fitzgibbon was brilliant in the first half in particular, hitting 2 points. And they were certainly winning more of their ball. They were winning more of their puck-outs as well. And I think that was one of the main reasons for Cork kind of dominating this early display in the game. I thought Clare were a little bit slow out of traps. I think maybe with the fact that they've played, you know, this is their 4th game in 5 weeks. And, you know, coming into the game, the reason why I actually felt that Clare would win this game was because of the amount of games that they had, because I felt that it would stand to them coming into this, you know, that experience that they've had through the other games, you know, those close games, learning from, you know, some of the sort of inaccuracies of their previous games. Because I think we all see they have the quality. Tony Kelly, Aidan McCarthy, Mark Rogers, who even came off the bench, you know, Ian Galvin, obviously, fair enough, it wasn't his day today, went off after 26 minutes, and Brian Lohan obviously seen something there and made a change. You know, but we know that Clare have the talent there. But I think this year in particular, what has let them down is that they've been way too inaccurate in front of goal. Like, they're creating the chances, but they've been having too many wides. Like, I think 50% wides in the first game against Waterford. I think they get 18 wides or 17 wides in this game. So, like, Clare's wides has been a problem. It's been an issue, and it's been ultimately, in my opinion, what's let them down. Because you even seen, like, Tony Kelly had a tremendous game, really stood up when Clare needed him in the final 10 to 15 minutes. But there was one opportunity where he hit wide from a placed ball going into the final 5 minutes. And it just seems that Clare just can't seem to be clinical enough. You know, you're looking at sides like Kilkenny and Limerick and even Tipperary to a certain extent. You know, they're so clinical in front of goal. Like, they're so efficient. Like, Kilkenny's accuracy so far this year has been tremendous. Like, you know, I don't want to go all RTE and start ringing off statistics, you know, left, right, and centre, but I do remember seeing a stat where they had 78% accuracy in the first game against Wexford. And that just kind of shows the difference why Clare maybe just aren't at the top table just yet. Marty G says Clare are short though. Besides Kelly, they're no one else that you can rely on. Do you know what? Last year I would have agreed with you. I would have said they didn't really have anyone else to stand up. To be in fairness, in this game they didn't. So you're actually right in saying that. But I do think overall this year, the likes of your Aaron Shanahers, you know, Aidan McCarthy's obviously come into the team, has been a fantastic addition. Colin Malone in midfield has really improved as the season's gone on. He was with the footballers last year, so he's come back into the hurlers this year, and was arguably Clare's best player potentially on the day, or at least one of their best players, other than Tony Kelly, of course. But Cork, you know, I think in the Limerick game, what ultimately let them down was that they, in the league, they were very dynamic. They had a lot of men getting forward. They were scoring a lot of goals, creating a lot of goal chances. And when goal chances presented themselves, they went for goals in the league. But in the Limerick game, they just didn't do that. They didn't seem to have that killer instinct to go and try and win the game. But in this game, they definitely did. Jack O'Connor got a goal. Obviously, Shane Kingston got a goal. And obviously, Shane Barrett got that goal late on as well, which really did kill the game at that point. I think it was a 5-point game. Obviously, Clare get the penalty, and then it's a 2-point game. But that was really the nail in the coffin that really kind of just took the sting out of Clare, because even between the minutes of like 67 to injury time, you could tell that Clare were very much dead on their feet. The confidence was kind of gone, and it took that penalty really to kind of bring themselves up again for the final kind of play of the game. But fair play to Cork, like they march on into the last six, into a All-Ireland Senior Hurling Championship quarter-final. They'll play either Tipperary or Dublin. I suppose for myself as a Dublin fan, like who would I rather see us play, Cork or Waterford? It probably doesn't really make a difference either or, because you'd have to probably fancy Cork or Waterford in that game, to be perfectly honest. And like Cork, they've a young side, like they've young players coming through, they're improving. It's probably too soon for them to win an All-Ireland this year, but certainly going down the line with the likes of your Jack O'Connors and the fact that you've got Alan Connolly and Shane Barrett in there, and even like some of the other lads he brought on, Kieran Kingston brought Bill Cooper on, Tyke Daisy as well, Conor Cahalan as well. Like, so he really did kind of flex his bench in this game. Whereas Clare, like they brought on Shane Golden, and he had wonder score late on in the second half. But Cork just had a little bit more options, I think, that kind of made the main difference in the game. And I thought defensively as well, like, to be fair, Niall O'Leary done a great job on Tony Kelly in the first half. In the second half, obviously completely different story. O'Leary ends up getting himself sent off with a black, a yellow and a red card. So eventually he got done in, but Tony Kelly in the first half was kept relatively quiet, and that certainly went in Cork's favour. And yeah, obviously, Seamus Harnedy won man of the match on Sky, and fantastic display. Obviously a wonder pass for that original goal. And he was fantastic. And obviously Patrick Horgan ended up hitting a point at one stage, when he was on his knees. So that was, quite an exceptional score. Kind of reminded me of that score we seen from one of the Laois players, I think, in an under-20 game. So fair play to him. And Harnedy, was fantastic. Like, just dropping in around midfield at different stages, winning a lot of ball, like just the way he would recycle play. And obviously Cork at different stages were getting their wing backs forward, and Darragh Fitzgibbon was overlapping, and Harnedy would be the man to pick him out. So fair play to Cork. Massive congratulations to them. For Clare, just a little unlucky there in the closing minutes. Tony Kelly scores that goal. Like what I said before, it's Marty Morrissey and Holy Moses all over again if that goes in the back of the net. But unfortunately not meant to be. And for Clare, they just look like they ran out of steam. Probably having too many matches in a row has probably been their downfall. And there are aging players in there like John Conlon, McInerney, Tony Kelly. Like, they are getting older, and you would wonder, with the fact that Cork have a young side, they're improving, Limerick are improving, Galway are, we don't know what Galway, they'll probably have a number of retirements now in the next couple of weeks, but it's going to be hard to see where Clare go from here, like going into 2020 to 2022. But I do think ultimately they have progressed from last year, albeit they were actually in an All-Ireland quarter-final last year when they got beat by Waterford. But I do think, the addition of Aidan McCarthy, Mark Rogers, Cathal Malone coming back into the side, John Conlon coming back into the side has been a positive, and that will stand to them going into 2022. But for Cork, the young lads coming through at the moment from the under-20s, they've obviously been very successful, in the past couple of years. Obviously won the 2020 under-20 All-Ireland Championship, a game in which Shane Barrett was actually playing in. So Cork do have a number of players coming through, and onwards and upwards for them. Whether they can progress and challenge the likes of your Kilkenny or Limerick. I mean, they could probably beat Kilkenny, to be fair, in an All-Ireland semi-final. It wouldn't be impossible, but obviously Tipperary is going to be a tough game. If they play Limerick in a semi-final, it's going to be a very tough game. So I don't know if they have it in them to go all the way and win an All-Ireland, but certainly, with the players coming through at the moment, they certainly are progressing, and certainly will be one worth keeping an eye on now over the next couple of weeks. But yeah, look, listen, we'll wrap this up here anyway. Cheers anyone who tuned in and left a comment. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Stay tuned for more match reactions out tomorrow, of course, for the football games. And